Hello everyone, it's been a while since we last time saw each other, but I really have an excuse probably because I had to prioritize what I have time for. I don't know if I mentioned, but I've got a little baby now. She's 1.5 years old, and everything has been so busy, and the only free time I have is when she sleeps, and it's like daytime, like 2 hours or so, and at night. And as I mentioned in the first episode, I have a little business, or I don't know if I can say probably it is a business of natural cosmetics, soaps and lotions, and all my time went there. But recently I figured out that I need some free time for myself, to meditate, and knitting is my meditation, and it really relaxes me, and I need this time. And also I want to share with my knitting project with you online, because I don't have really knitting friends in real life, and I just figure out I really need this. And let's start with the finished objects. Since last time, I don't know, it's been so long. Last time I showed you a cashmere cardigan, Junka Akamoda, and it's called the Little Garden, as I recall it correctly. I don't have it on me right now because I just forgot to take it, but I insert pictures. And it took almost 300 grams of pure cashmere. It was on a cone. I've bought it online, and it's by CARDIGAN company. It's cashmere. This cashmere was produced for fashion industry, and some leftovers were just sold online or in special stores. So I got it online very cheap. I think it was like I paid $40 or $35 US, but because of shipping and import charges and everything, I paid like around 80 Canadian dollars, which is still not much for 300 grams of pure cashmere. So the needles were 2.75 millimeters, and I'm not sure which size in US it is. I will try to put it on the screen. And I really love this cardigan. It's very soft, it's light, but now I'm kind of struggling with like how I can use it in real life, because it's very warm. It's like extremely warm. And if it's just a little bit chilly outside, it might be too hot to wear it. But if it's very cold outside, the sleeves are quite short. They're like around this length, and I would prefer something with long sleeves. So I'm not sure. And also, the neckline at the back stretched, and because it has it's really oversized, and the whole weight is is put on the shoulders, so the neck line very stretches down. So now it's very wide. What I'm thinking, I'm sorry if my hair causes any sounds. What I'm thinking, to buy a sewing tape and put it in over here, so it kind of holds everything in place. But last winter it was ready, and I have not wore it even one time. So, but I'm hoping to find a use for it, to put the band or some kind of tape over there, so it sits in place better. It took me a while to finish it because it was lots of stitches. The size is huge and it's just 2.75 millimeters. So I'm not sure if I want to knit with such small needles in near future. The next project is this hat, and it's double knitting. So it's blue and beige on this side, and it's beige and blue on this side. And it's extremely warm because it's baby alpaca. The beige is baby alpaca by Juniper Moon, and it's called Harriet, 100% baby alpaca, and I love this yarn. And this blue one is Russian yarn. You probably have never heard about it. It's called Siam, and it's 70% merino and 30% silk. So it's quite nice too. It's very soft, but we'll see how it goes in future. And the blue one is thinner, so it sits together nicer, and the fabric is not extremely thick, but it is thick still. But it's very nice. I like it a lot. So this hat is made for my husband, so that I didn't put any pompon on. He doesn't want it, and there was supposed to be a pompon, and yeah, there is a tail of the yarn showing off, so I have to I need to take a needle and hide it away. So this was my first ever double knitting project, and actually I've never done any stranded work, and I really want to do one. And this one, the first I tried, and I enjoyed it. At first it was so slow, and I kind of was messy, but then everything just flied off my needles. So I started with this kind of burgundy color, then went up. But you know, it was kind of hard to do because it was 240 stitches at once. It's like a sweater, but you're knitting a hat. But it's done, and I'm more than happy, and I think it will be windproof, and it's perfect for -30 for sure. My next project is this hat, baby hat, toddler hat, and it's for my daughter. And it fits nicely. It's not I've knitted with the recipe, and the recipe, I don't think it's helpful for you because it's in Russian only. But why I picked up that recipe, because there are short rows. If you can see, it's rounded. It's not just flat. It's just regular hat like this. It's rounded, so it lays nicely around the forehead. Also, there are short rows over here, and it also fits much better over here around the neck. And it's made with pure YAK, 100% YAK, and it's also Russian brand. It's pure YAK, made in Mongolia, and I love this yarn. I also insert some pictures of my husband's sweater because I have 500 grams, and I made a beautiful sweater for him. And it was my own calculations, so it was not a pattern, but I took the design from online. I just found the picture and I replicated it. And it's so warm. At the same time, it's very light. The sweater was made with 3.5 millimeters needles, and it's very light. It's like 400 grams, but it's extremely warm. But at the same time, if you are in a warm environment, you are not hot. You are not toasty hot. Like you're okay because it's regulates its temperature. Same thing with this hat. The only concern is that it's not windproof, probably, because it's just one layer. See, there are holes in it. So I'm thinking for next winter, I'll just pick up stitches around the neck, and I will make not around the neck, on this side, and I'll just knit another one which will be inserted inside, so it's doubled. And in that case, I think it's going to be great. My next project, yes, I do have a few because it's been a while. This is a vest. Actually, it is a dress right now for my daughter, Serafima, and it's made with per 100% camel. And I love this yarn because it's not peeling. Same as this yak. It's very warm, it's very light, it's like cashmere feeling. If you've never tried yak and you have this opportunity, go ahead and try, because it's worth it. This yarn is fabulous. I would say even maybe I like it more than cashmere, because cashmere is very drapey and you don't want that drapeness all the time. And yak is soft as a cashmere, it's warm, but at the same time it's more, I would say it's like sturdy, it's more sturdy probably, so, or stiffer, so I like it a lot. So these are camel yarn. It's natural color. It is also quite thin. I knitted with 3 millimeters needles. It is very, very warm. It's good for very cold weather. That's why I actually knit it for. But it's not peeling, and I'm sure it is very durable, and it's soft. Of course, it's not soft as yak or as cashmere or merino, but it's not itchy at all. It's perfect. I think it's like it's almost like merino, but merino is not opening the same way as camel does, because it fills out all the holes, and I just love it. I just love this yarn. It is a paid for pattern, but it's very easy to knit yourself, to calculate everything yourself, because there are seams. It's made not in the round, and it's just T-shaped T. And here you just put your whatever you want. And by the way, this stitch pattern is not from the pattern. I just decided to make my own one, and it's very easy. And it's very easy one. I like the neckline, and it was described in the pattern, but there are two ways to do it. The first one was just picking up stitches and that's it, and the second one is this one, and I love how it looks like. It looks like from a store-bought garment for me. So what you do, you're picking up stitches and you knit 2 rows on smaller needles, then you're picking up stitches again on the other side, and you knit 2 rows again, and then you just knit 2 together with the third pair of needles. Then you just knit a rib 2 by 2, and I finished it with a needle. Tubular, is it a tubular cast off? I don't know, but the one you're making with the needle. First you knit it as 1 by 1 rib, and then you just bind off with a needle. That's it. And I think we will wear it for several years, because last winter it was like a dress. Next winter I think it will be like a long tunic, and in 2 years it will be just as a regular vest. And I think it's perfect for cold weather. So one more project, and I will call it a finished object. You've seen it last time. This is a sweater by Nora Gone. Sorry, it's a little bit wrinkly because it's been folded. And this is a stuck head pullover. And as you can see, I modified it. I wanted it to be an oversized sweater with a drop shoulder. And I do have sleeves, even 4 of them. But the thing is that all sleeves I've made, and I've knitted I think like 5 sleeves, I don't like. Every time I try them, something is wrong, and I got so tired of it. And I think my mistake was that, I didn't do any shaping over here. I just wanted to do like a sleeve, and that's it. but I think I needed to make some shape in here. So to insert a gusset, is it a gusset called? I'm not sure. I'll Google and then put it on the screen. I think I should have made a gusset so it fitted better, but I didn't do that. What I decided to do, actually my friend asked me, she's a felter, and when I said on my Instagram that I'm going to rip it off, she said like, please don't do this, give it to me and I'll buy you yarn, or I'll make something for you, like felted project, because we do bargain with her. I'll do something for you, and just give me the sweater and I'll use it in one of my felted projects. So this goes to her. And what's interesting about this project is the yarn. This is Holzgarn Noble. I don't know if you've heard about this yarn or not, but this is a Danish yarn and it's fabulous. I have quite a few of projects made with it. And what's great about this yarn, it's machine washable, first. Second, it has just a beautiful palette. The colors they're not flat, they're so variegated, and there are so many shades. And the yarn itself is super soft, and it's I'm sure it is sturdy, and it's just, there are just prongs and I don't see any cons in it. But the only thing that is really disappointing for me is that I placed my first order exactly 1 year ago, and 50 grams of that yarn was like $450. And now when I checked last time, the same yarn was already around like $750. So it's almost doubled, and for that price I'm not sure if I'm going to get it from there, because it is $15 US for 100 grams. Canadian dollars is cheaper now, and then you pay shipping, then you pay taxes, import taxes, and the price skyrockets. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna get any more, maybe when they have sale on their Black Friday. But the yarn itself is fabulous. I'll just show you again quickly. Look at this. It contains just 5% of cashmere, but after you wash it in a washing machine on a cold cycle, it just it opens and it blooms so nicely. So it looks like a real cashmere, and it feels like real cashmere. And look at the colors. It's not just a flat color. It's a mix. And it's called linen. The color is called linen. But when you knit it, it looks like this. See? It looks like wire. But after you wash it, it completely changes. So here is like before washing, and this is after. So I love this yarn, I love this sweater, I love the design, but I think it was my own mistake that I didn't think about like how I'm gonna put the sleeves in, and now I'm just so tired of it. It also, according to my calculations, and according to the sample I needed, it was supposed to shrink lengthwise, but it didn't. And now it's too long. And you could probably think, oh, for an oversized sweater, it's okay, to be long. But no, because right now I'm not in my regular weight. I'm a little bit overweight, like 10 pounds for sure. And I don't think this oversized sweater will look nice on me at this very moment. So I just don't want to deal with it anymore, and it goes to a felting project. Okay, let's talk what's on my needles. And the very first and my main project is a cardigan by Isabel Kramer, which is called Philippe, and the bodice is nearly done. Here it is. The yarn again is Holzgarn, the same yarn, Holzgarn Noble. I actually have got like half of a kilo, 500 grams of this beautiful rococo color, and I was planning to make a big wrap, like heavily cabled wrap. But then I decided to make this cardigan out of it, and I love it. The bodice is almost done. I'm just in the process of binding off the rib, and it's been another story. I'm binding off the third time in a row, and there are lots of stitches, and to be honest, I'm a bit tired of it, because first time I decided to bind off as a tubular bind off with the needle, and I've done this much, and I figured that I made a mistake, and you know, the direction of the stitches like shifted a bit like on the side, and I didn't like it, so I had to rip everything off. And it took a while, because if you are binding off with the needle, you know, it's very hard to unravel. Then I've done that. Then I decided to do, you know, imitation of a tail cast on, and you do it with the needle too. I'll show you how it looks like this. So it looks really, you know what, I'm looking into the and right now I see that I missed a stitch again. So I've done it already, and it took me 3 hours to finish it, but then I discovered that at the very end, at the very beginning, I missed a stitch. I had to rip everything off. I had to rip everything back. So, and it was a pain again because of the needle bind off. I had to I just cut it, and I unraveled the previous row, and it took me forever. And now, like, I'm being super I'm paying lots of attention, you know, and being super cautious, like that everything is in place. And right now I'm showing you what I've done, and I see that the very beginning I missed a stitch again. See, like, really? So I don't know if I'm going back. Maybe I'll just sew it after in place, because I'm tired, and it's been like, you know, it's a big amount of work considering that it's done with the needle. You cannot just go and rip it back. You have to unravel everything by hand, and it would take like an hour to rip it back, and I already put an hour in it. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. We'll see. Okay, the bodice is almost done, and it's a little bit over 200 grams. What I learned while knitting it is a provisional cast on, because at first you cast on the shoulders, and you need the back piece, and then you unravel the provisional cast on here, and you continue to work on the front pieces. And the provisional cast on was with the hook and the needle. So you just wrap the yarn around the needle with your hook, and what it does, there is no shifting. You know, usually when you unravel the provisional cast on, and you pick up stitches, it shifts half stitch. It shifts half stitch to the left or right. And here I don't see any shifting. So the provisional cast on was right here, and see, it just continues smoothly. There is no transition. You cannot see where it was. The second and I think it's very important thing I learned, but it was not in the pattern. It was in a book which I was reading recently, and it says, like, if you are going to pick up stitches along the edge, it's better to knit last and first stitches as a garter. So you knit your last stitch and you knit your first stitch on both sides, no matter what pattern you're knitting. So it looks like these little bumps. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, looks like little bumps, and they will help you to pick up stitches in future correctly and to count rows. And yeah, so half of cardigan is knitted just as a regular. I was knitting and purling every other row, and then I discovered that I better to knit everywhere, and I think it will work great. What I also like about this cardigan is that it's knitting seamlessly, but it's not a raglan sleeve. It is a set-in sleeve. In my opinion, and it's just my personal opinion, and I do like raglan and I do need them, but for cardigan, because it's a bit heavy and it's a bit thicker, I would prefer a set-in sleeve, because it will hold the construction in place. It will not stretch like the shoulders, and the sleeve fits better. So for a cardigan, I would prefer to do a set-in sleeve. But it is a set-in sleeve, but you're just picking up stitches here and you just continue knitting with short rows. So there is no seams at all. I hope that for next episode everything will be finished. And yes, right now the yarn looks like a wire, but I think after washing it will look like cashmere. It will look like cashmere, like this one. So my next project is my memories blanket, and it looks, for me it looks big, because I pick up it not so often, because I prefer to knit on my garments, and this one I pick up just when I have no energy to concentrate or to read the pattern, or I just have 30 minutes to relax, and that's it. So I'm picking up this blanket and I'm super happy with it, because you change yarn very often and you're kind of done very quickly. And by the way, this is a naturally dyed yarn. I dyed it with the Solidago. It's golden rod, I believe it's called also, modified with iron. And this yarn is not a sock yarn. This is like different kind of yarn. It's all natural. This one, for example, is cotton and cashmere, lots of alpaca, lots of merino wool, lots of baby alpaca. And yeah, it's not a sock yarn, because I'm not super excited about. I was thinking why I'm not a sock knitter. Because I always enjoy watching podcasts and people who knits those beautiful socks with all that beautiful yarn, hand-dyed yarn, and I never knit socks. I think for my entire knitting career I knit just three pairs of socks, and I just figure out why I don't knit socks, because we do wear felted slip-ons at home, and they're perfect. You know, you're not too hot in them. You can wear them even in summertime, and they regulate body temperature very well. And it's very warm for winter, so you're super comfortable in your slippers, in your felted slippers. We just don't need any socks. So I don't have any sock yarn. I have just maybe 2 skeins. My friend gave it to me. And I knit it just with leftover yarn I have in my stash, and also this is from some of my subscribers from my Russian channel sent me some leftovers of their yarn, and I love the colors because they're kind of, you know, not in your face. They're muted in some way. Of course you cannot say like really muted, but they're kind of natural. They're not neon, you know, pink or neon, I don't know, blue. They're kind of blended and muted, and that's what I like about it. And it will be very warm and it's very soft. So I just pick up nice yarn for it. Love it. That's it for my processes, because I don't like to have lots of process on the go. Yes, I do make more if I need. For example, one for the card knitting, one to keep at home, one to take with you like somewhere, or one that's been sitting forever, like a memory blanket. But I already planned what's going to be next. My next project is going to be a sewing project, but after that I'm going to make a cardigan, lappa paste cardigan for my daughter, and I'll use the same Holzgarn Noble yarn, which this is, by the way, the sleeves. See, at first I made that just a regular sleeve. It has increases, but it's flat here. Then I did it like this way with short rows, and I don't like them all. I think there is not enough of positive ease, and I already unraveled several of them. So here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rip all of them back. And with that yarn, I'll make a cardigan, stranded cardigan, lappa paste cardigan. I, by the way, even have the whole cake of the yarn. And I also have these beautiful bags of the same yarn. They have them in the store. Here, the colors. So I'm thinking just to design my own cardigan, and I'll knit it in the round, and then I'll just stick. So this is my next project. We'll see next time if it will be ready by that time. Next, what I'd like to show you is some yarn I dyed myself. This was just for fun, and to be honest, I didn't expect so much work to dye the yarn, because I wanted to make a big wrap, and I bought 700 grams of pure wool, and I thought it will be like a piece of cake, but it was not, because first of all, I didn't think that it's very hard to duplicate yarn exactly, and if you're going to use all 7 skeins in one project, they will vary. And also to get like the dye evenly, you need big pots, and I just had 2 big pots, but I decided to put all the yarn I had at once, so 3 skeins at one pot and 4 skeins in the second, and you know, it didn't go right. So my sample and my thinking, what I meant to do was this. So see, this is very muted grayish, pinkish color. It's just tonal, so that's what I wanted. But when I was dyeing the main batch, as I said, I've put everything in 2 pots, and some of the spots were not saturated with the colors, and I used an immersion technique, and I was not happy with the result, because some spots were still white, and I had to over dye it again, and I used too much of the dye, and it ended up to be a bit more in your face violet and pink colors, and it was dark, and on its own the colors are perfect. Like I'm inserting the picture and the video I took, because the yarn is not here anymore. I've sold it because I decided that even though I love the color, it's not perfectly it's not what I wanted for the wrap, and I cannot imagine wearing this wrap like around my face, because it's too too bright for me at the moment. Right now I prefer like more muted colors, more earthy, but what I've got is more, it's more dark, it's darker and it's more in your face. So I've sold it to one of my subscribers for the price I paid for the wool, not even for the dyes and for the shipping, just for the wool. But I'm happy that it's not sitting in my stash and just, you know, I don't have to worry about it. The second project was just these two skeins. So see, it's very dark, but it's like a variation of dark unicorn. It's like a night unicorn, and I love these colors. I just love it, and I think I'll use it in a stranded color work. I'll just pick a background color, maybe beige or even white, I don't know, we'll see. So I really love the colors, and they say it is merino with angora, but I don't see any angora in it, to be honest, maybe. And the last dye project was this one, and it's natural dye. This is was colored with the goldenrod, modified with alum and iron. So the half of it was, this is just alum, and then the half of it I just put in iron, and it turned this greenish color. Actually what I was hoping for is mustardy green, and I've seen one girl who did that and she's got that mustardy green color, but for me it didn't work out. So the colors are still nice, but not what I wanted. So nice colors, but I'm not happy. Another thing I'd like to talk to you about is ceramic, because I've recently taken pottery course and I love it so much. It was a hand building one, not on the wheel, because what I've heard from my fellows, that the wheel takes lots of practice until you can master something decent. So I decided to take a hand building course, and I did not regret. The plan was to make some soap dishes for my store, and I did, but I also done some other stuff, and now I'm taking studio time. It means that you just go and work on your own without any instructions. But I want to show you what I've done during the course and what I'm doing right now. And first is the soap dishes, and I think I had around 15 of them, but now I just have on hand, I have just 2, but I'll insert more pictures. And what's funny is that a couple of my customers emailed me back that they're sad to put it in their bathrooms and not see them during the day. So one uses the soap dish as their needle keeper for her sewing room, and the second uses it as a jewelry holder. Here's the picture, and what I enjoy is a natural looking clay, and my favorite ones are with these botanical prints and just highlighted with some wash, and that's it. And it is glazed. It is glazed with a clear glaze, because obviously you need to put like a soap here and it will stick, so you need to put some glaze on. And there is my logo, and the second one has an oak leaf, and it's also glazed, but half is glazed with this dark, it's brownish blue. I don't know if you can see, but it is actually brownish. It's brown here, and it goes to the blue side on here. and this is clear glaze.